kind of know what calls are more sensitive to each other, and we're always checking in on each other after those types of calls, or any big calls. We're good at like debriefing and stuff like that. And all kind of that stuff.
Um, just are there calls that really are the most difficult for you to take yourself?
Personally, for me, calls involving children, that's always a hard call. And cardiac arrests are always something, just because, there's a lot more on, there's a lot on the line with those. But personally, for me, calls involving children sometimes are hard.
When, so you send all the first responders to the call, and then you disengage after that.
Correct.
So do you ever get to know the outcome, or how does that work?
So some calls we don't know the outcome for, but luckily we have a great community in Cumberland County, that a lot of our people who work here also are first responders, so we sometimes we get to know the outcome, but sometimes we don't.
I'm going to go back because I didn't hit the record the very first thing. What is it that brought you to this work?
I enjoy helping others. I enjoy helping the community, helping people, and this is just where I seem to connect to the best.
And your favorite thing about the job?
Getting to talk to the people of the community, being kind of that voice in the dark. We are the first individual that somebody talks to on what's possibly their worst day.
Yeah. So when you go home, is there anything can you leave most of it here, or do you take some of it home, or how does that work?
I try and leave as much here as possible. Luckily, most of us are friends outside of here, so we always have the support of each other, but there's always those calls that are going to stick with you.
Yeah. Is there any in particular that really...
Not really. Just parts and pieces of calls will stick with you, and they're not all bad. Some of those are good and some of those are bad.
Can you think of a good call?
Delivering a baby over the phone.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
It was really just, I say I didn't do much, but just the father had called frantically, and it was kind of a dreary Sunday morning, if I remember correctly, so we weren't getting a whole lot of calls, and out of nowhere I had gotten this, and it definitely makes the job all worth it.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Did you hear the baby cry?
Yeah.
when the father delivered it?
Yeah.
You could hear the baby cry.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Relieving. It was a relief that everything had gone smoothly.
That's cool. Is there anything that you would want people to know about this, the communication center, or the job itself?
Just that we're here to help you. When a lot of times, like, we have certain questions that we're required to ask when people call in, and just knowing that us asking those questions is not delaying help in any way, and it's not us trying to be nosy. There are protocols and requirements and questions that we are required to ask, and so we're here to help you, and that's our priority.